All right, today's live show, we're going to talk about what can I do after 751 was denied. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it from happening in the first place. All right, so let's get down to it. We're here talking about what can I do after 751 was denied, and a lot of y'all are stuck. And I get this information because y'all call in, sharing in the DMs and all that. You number one, you file another dadgum 751, okay? And the reason why is because the government, especially when you have a court hearing and you want to preserve your status, you need to show the government, okay, the court, the judge specifically, and the Department of Homeland Security attorneys that you have that case on file. Because if you go up there in court, especially whether you have a lawyer or not, and you go in there, the judge asks, what are you going to do today? Basically, what are you applying for? What's your relief? And technically, filing 71 is not relief before the court. An example is something like cancellation removal. But, right now I'm talking about if you have a court case and your case, USCIS case was referred to the court, Executive Office of Immigration Review, the short name EOIR. That's the acronym. Okay. So y'all need to know this because by the time some people think, okay, I was denied, and you may have thought, you're incorrectly denied, or you think you file the timing, the deadline to file it is that 2-year mark of conditional residence status. But technically, I wouldn't. It's like a quasi deadline because technically you can file it after the deadline. Okay, because sometimes we hear people get their case referred to court. Short time frame, maybe like less than 6 months after that 2-year period, and there is no 751. But some other people's cases, there is no referral to court, and they were denied. So it's just it's kind of strange. There is no process. Basically, the government's very slow. They have no idea what the heck's going on. They don't have a smooth process. So some of y'all get lucky, some of y'all don't. So I'm just talking about right now the worst case scenario. If you have a court case, it's very possible that you can get it dismissed. But to get it dismissed, you need to file the 751 application to USCIS again. All right. And or maybe even the first time if you forgot to file it timely. The other thing you need to know is that, and some of y'all may know this, is that you can file it without your spouse. But that's assuming that you're separated. You don't have to be legally separated. Like majority of states in America have to be legally separated. I do in quotations because in Texas we don't require that. Texas is one of the few states that you literally don't require legal separation before divorce. And in Texas, you can get divorced as soon as 2 months, 60 days. But of course, you have to live in Texas for 6 months. So that's a key difference. You can't just hop over here and file for divorce. That's not how it works. But let's see what else you need to know. But you don't have to file. Some people call in and say, well, John, we're separated. You're intending to file divorce. And that's the reason why I have not filed 751. It's okay. I know the USCIS instructions say they need a divorce order. But this is where a lawyer's experience counts. It's very helpful to have this lawyer experience. So I'm just going to tell you, you don't need the divorce order when you file the 71. So don't let that slow you down, okay? It's just because, again, like most states in America, you have to have some kind of time period for legal separation. And by the time you wait, your case might get freaking referred to court. So, you don't want that to happen. You want to prevent it from going to court if you can. All right. So get that application 751 filed. Of course, if you are still married and you intend to continue this case 751 as married, we call it jointly filed, then yes, your spouse has to sign it. Okay. There's two different pages where the spouse has to sign it. Not on the same page as yours, basically. It's actually a little bit confusing where they need to sign. So that's why I'm mentioning that, because not on the same page. But speaking of page, you want to get on the same page with your spouse, okay? That's very important when you're about to file this application. In fact, not that you don't forge anything, of course, but your spouse has to understand what they're signing, because in some crazy situation that your case gets referred, I'm not referred, that's not the right word, gets sent to an interview for 751, which, by the way, I've only had a couple cases in my career where it required an interview for 751. Fortunately, it went good. But there's some people who file their own, and then the spouse, they just go on their own, and then they ask these questions like, "Oh, are you Mary Jane?" Yes. Do you remember signing this? No. Because maybe you asked your spouse to sign it when he or she was really tired. And they were the ones signing it, but they weren't paying attention. So if they don't understand the significance of this, imagine what the USCIS officer would say. You don't remember? This is a pretty important document here. And this document, it's statement saying that you're supposed to tell the truth. So if you don't remember, how can you tell the truth on this application? Right? So find the right time to make sure you ask your spouse to sign this document. Make sure you actually tell them, ask your spouse, hey, please review this. So, I mean, I took care of it, but please review this application, because in case there's an interview, you can truthfully and remember to say, yes, I reviewed this application and I signed it. Because, I mean, surprisingly, you'll be surprised what people say. I mean, of course, they're telling the truth. Like, I really don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I signed it, and that's my signature. So, but just imagine if you were the USCIS officer, what they're thinking when they hear that kind of question. Let's see here. But that's really the gist of the advice for today based on this topic. What's going on, UK? Nice to see you again. Hey, Badru. Nice to see you. Thanks so much. Oh, Badru has a great success story that he wants to share. Thank you so much. We just helped him with a mandamus case. Let's see. He says, thank you, Mr. John, and your team for suing USCIS to get his interview. That was pending for 4 years, folks. This gentleman, our client, was asylum case pending for 4 years. I don't even know how many fingers I've pulled up. 4 freaking years. When you apply for something, you would think reasonably, okay, you reasonably would think that your application would not be decided in like 2 months. That's reasonable. But he had to wait 4 years, and he only got the interview because we sued the government, USCIS, the government agency, okay? And they finally gave him the asylum interview, I think about 2 or 3 months ago. All right. They did not act. Thank you so much, Badru, for sharing this. The asylum officer did not act weird or ask him about anything about suing the government. And that's right, because the government does not generally, they don't know that the USCIS officer does not know that you may have sued them to get this interview or to get the decision. All right. They just get some kind of notification from their supervisor saying, hey, review this case. We're going to get this scheduled as it normally would. Right. But a lot of people have been delayed, of course, for several reasons. One is pandemic that just made it worse. But President Trump's policy for last in, first out didn't make sense because it delayed the people who filed way before his new policy. So that kind of give you an idea. Badru also says, thank you so much. He says, highly recommend our team, and we have the best fast communication ever. Always replying to calls and emails as well. Badru, I know you called our team the other day. Thank you so much. I'm going to try my best to give you a call this afternoon if you're still on. And Ada says, Mamita Raman. Yeah, Mamita Raman is actually another attorney in New York. She does great work as well. So, more power to all the immigration lawyers that are good people, of course. But if you're commenting on our show because you think that this is the Mamita's show, you got the wrong show. So, Shelly on Instagram. I'll get to all the questions and comments. Thank you very much. Shelly Licious says, great name, by the way. Can I believe that they send they sent your work permit but not your social security card? It's been over a month. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. It's confusing because it's the government. They're slow. It's not just USCIS, Social Security Administration. They are slow. Think about the people that run the agency. They have no incentive to make it faster. I mean, they should, because if you get a social number, then you can work. And you work, then you can get more. You can get income, right? It's more taxes for the government. So I don't know what they're thinking, but Social Security Administration needs to get its act together. Now, it's of course, if you don't know this, SSA is different than the IRS, but you would think they work together to figure it out to get it faster. Okay, for you. But yeah, some clients get it less than 1 month. There's no really timetable on that because, again, there's no incentive for SSA, at least they think, to get it mailed to you. So, but yeah, you can call in. I believe you can call in to see if they have some kind of record that they can see if they've sent it to you at all. Because again, of course, you want to make sure they have your right address. They should. But I'm not sure how it works internally, how USCIS notifies SSA. Maybe they have some kind of separate department that works only on these cases, which is what I would think. All right. So hopefully that helps, Shelly Licious. I would not apply for a new Social Security number. I would, because they probably have something in your name on it as like a case with SSA or some kind of inquiry. So you want to touch base with them. Let's see here. Other questions here. Saima, you said you're on L1 visa. You're uncertain about your job. Is it possible to switch to F1 visa? Your wife and kids came last week from India. Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that your family's here with you in the U.S. Yeah, good to think about other options, Saima. So L1, you want to be eligible for L1 with another company. Most likely not, especially if you've been here for several years. But H1B is only I don't say only. There are limited situations for H1B. But you asked about F1. It depends on timing with the school. It depends if you need to take the TOEFL test, for example, for the English language, even though obviously you know English, but the schools have certain requirements. Yeah, but I would definitely, if you're thinking about switching to F1, your family would need to also change status, obviously, as well. File an actual application for that with USCIS, which you can do the 539. You can do online, thankfully. And for F1, you don't need a lawyer for that. I know in other countries they charge for that. I don't even think they're lawyers, so you want to watch out for that. But typically, the school, the university or college, has some kind of what they call DSO, designated school officer, to help with the international students, technically. Okay, and you need to get that I-20 so they can apply for F1. All right, so hopefully that helps. So hopefully that's also answered your second question. Yeah, you have to apply for a change of status. And let's see here. I'm just screenshotting this comment about my colleague here, Momita. I think that's pretty amazing. I love sharing great things about other attorneys, other good work. I prefer to talk about that than all the negative things from other attorneys. So, yeah, maybe I need to see if I can collab with her actually on a live show or something like that. Okay, Shelly Licious, you all said they never do answer the phone. I guess what you're saying, you got to go there in person and apply for it. And all now they haven't all this time they haven't sent anything. And saying they're waiting for USCIS for approval, well, you shouldn't have to wait. Okay. One of my attorney buddies are calling right now. Maybe he's on the live show. Tell him to call him back. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay, well, I kind of want to talk about. Hopefully, I answered everyone else's question so far. Okay. Want to talk about what Badger was talking about? Okay, a little bit. So yeah, his case is one of the asylum waiting for asylum interview is just one of the examples. Okay, but give you an idea. All right, I'll give you an idea about this mandamus. He's talking about mandamus cases. Okay, all right, he's talking about mandamus. That's not the only type of case. All right, that you can help and file get your interview done sooner. Okay, it can be waiting for your green card decision with USCIS. It can be with so that's 485 application. It can be naturalization application to become a U.S. citizen. It's pretty crazy, Actually, with the government has been delaying so many different types of cases. It's just very unfortunate that they're doing this. But with naturalization cases, they've been the policy manual actually you can file a lawsuit. Okay, the policy manual says after 120 days after your interview for naturalization, they specifically say sue us. Basically, they're saying sorry, we might not have the capacity. More or less, they're saying we might have the capacity to make a decision in case. We understand that we could be slow in your case. Keep us accountable. Sue us. It actually basically says that. I mean, I'm just paraphrasing, but it says that. Take us to federal court. All right. And that's for naturalization cases. But you can actually sue them for so many other cases, like for waiver applications. Right now, the past year, or ever since pandemic, for waiver applications, we've been filing they've been taking over. Let me share if I share my screen here. Y'all ask how long cases take, and I'll share my screen. Okay, there we go. You can see it's purple because I go here pretty often. Okay, going into, so you can see here 589 is asylum application. I'm sharing my screen on YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, not allowed to do that on Instagram for some reason. Or it doesn't show you the drop down menu, but I'm clicking the drop down menu. It does not have 589. Okay, they don't have a timetable on that because that would be just all over the place. Okay, now I'm picking waiver cases, 601A. This is for people who have unlawful presence in America and overstay their visa, most likely, and or entered without a visa. 43 months. You can see on the screen, 43 months. And, down below on any of these cases, you can submit your receipt date. So let me just make one up, January 1st. The 1st of January 20. Let me just be nice, say, hey, 2020. See what it says. 2020, January 1st, 2020. Hypothetically, you filed your case all the way back then, and it says your case is processing normally. Hell no, it's not. It's not normal. It's not normal that my case is processing for 43 months, 80% of cases. That's ridiculous. But it's saying that the earliest I could submit a question is this year, August 8th, August 10th, 2023. And this is, you might wonder, what the hell is going on here, folks? What the hell's going on here, John? Here's the deal, okay? They changed the processing timetable because they don't want to field or respond to so many inquiries. So they can legitimately tell Congress, hey, we responded to 100% inquiries because they stopped people based on the receipt date. So if you call in, honestly, you're wasting your time, most likely. You can do a lot of things on the website here with USCIS. They'll tell you on the phone, you can do XYZ online. You lost the receipt notice, you misplaced it, you file an e-request here. Your case outside normal process time, you could submit one there. Did not receive your card, maybe it's a work permit or a green card in the mail. Click here. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things, like you didn't receive any document or notice, you could click there. So yeah, it's pretty, they've done a lot of different things to make it difficult, or you can't go to the you can't go to the USCIS field office, the local office anymore for the stamp in your passport to say that you have maybe like extended your conditional resident status. And they now, the Biden administration is better about this. They actually give you extension letter, receipt notice saying 48 months, 4 years. To some extent, that's good because they're not allowing you to go in the office anyway. But the other thing is that it's still ridiculous. They're pretty much saying that anytime the USCIS has extended from 12 months, 18 months, 24 months to now 4 years, 48 months, automatic extension, because they know they're slow. Okay, it's freaking ridiculous. So, and you might think, okay, well, here at Green Card Guys, TV, we're talking about solutions. Okay, solutions, whether you have not filed your case, you're about to file, you already filed it, and you're waiting a heck of a long time. There are solutions. You don't have to wait. Okay, of course, we're going to tell you in the consultation strategy session, hey, maybe we need to wait a little bit longer. Okay, on a lawsuit or something like that. Or maybe you just got married. Let's wait a little bit. You got married yesterday. You entered America last week, got married, and then you want to file tomorrow. Doesn't look good. There's no rule per se can't do that, but maybe you don't want to do that. Okay. You don't want to raise any red flags in that sense. All right. So hopefully I can go on and on, but one quick example related to today's topic, 751, is that if you're not in court already, okay, then you can sue the U.S. government, the USCIS specifically, if there's been a delay in your 751 case. You can sue them. Or the better route in this situation is if you want to become a U.S. citizen. Some of y'all don't. I recommend it. You get a lot more protections, okay? But if you're interested in becoming a U.S. citizen, you're wondering, some people think, well, can I? Because there's still a pending 751 case. Yes, you can. I know it sounds strange, but you can. Okay, so even though there's a pending 751, now what happens? You're wondering what happens if you have pending 751, then you file the N-400 to become a citizen. It forces the USCIS officer to make a decision on your 751 case, but you can only file this application at the 3-year mark. So assuming you got married to a U.S. citizen and got status from a U.S. citizen spouse, then you can apply within 3 months, 90 days before the 3 years. If you got green card residency status, not through marriage, then you have to wait 5 years. Okay, so that gives you a quick idea. Because you could be waiting 4 years for your 751 case, and you're like, well, heck, I changed my mind. I want to become a citizen. Don't wait anymore. Okay. All right, so hopefully that helps. So that's similar to what we help with Badger in a sense. He was waiting for his asylum interview way too long. Okay, way too long. Which, by the way, we know asylum attorney. That's all he focuses. His law firm only focus on asylum cases. His name is Brian Manning. Okay, you still have to do your own due diligence. All right, I know many other attorneys that do asylum, but they do other work. But Brian Manning, he only does asylum work. He doesn't do anything else, at least to my knowledge. Okay, so hopefully that information helps. Stay tuned. I should be on live tomorrow. Today is Thursday. I wish you the best. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care now.